So in this video we're going to be looking at factorising. Now there's different levels of factorising as we go through. So the first one is when we have two terms and we're looking for a common factor to get it into one bracket. Now obviously we could have more than two, but we'll start with two terms and then we'll progress up to three. So the steps are on the right here. So we're going to find a common factor to start with, then divide through by that factor, and then the factor we've divided by goes on the outside, and then whatever we've divided through by gets left in the bracket. So let's have a try. So if we're looking here, we look at the 3 and the 12, which we can hopefully realise that we can divide both of them by 3. Now because we can divide both of them by 3, that 3 is going to come on the outside of some brackets. Then we think 3x divided by 3 will give me just 1x, or x. And then 12 divided by 3 will give me 4, so it's positive 4. And that's, you can leave your answer like that, or you can get rid of the 1 in front of the x. So the second one, we're going to divide by 4, because that will go into both. So we're going to have 4 on the outside. And then we think 12x divided by 4 is 3x. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. And that's your answer. The last one is we're going to take out two things. So we can hopefully see that we can divide by 2. But we can also divide by the letter A, because it's in both terms. So we're going to have 2a on the outside of the bracket. Then 4a squared divided by 2a will give me 2a. So we can check that through. So 2 times 2 is 4, a times a is a squared. And then we're going to divide the 6a by the 2a, and that's going to give me 3. So we're going to have a quick practice of that. So if you want to pause the video and have a go on your own, or you can just watch. So we can divide by 4 on the first one. So 4 on the outside, and then x plus 4 on the inside. And if you put that 1, that's okay. We can divide both of these by 8. So that will give me 3x and minus 5 from there. The next one, we can divide both of them by 3 and an m. So I can cross out an m effectively from both sides. And that's going to leave me with 1m, or m, and a 7. The last one we can divide by 6 and x. And that will leave me 1x again plus 3. So here's some more questions. Again, if you want to pause it and have a go, you can do. So we can divide by 2p. So that's going to leave me with 2q plus 7m. We can divide this side by 2x. And we can divide this by 5 w and a p. And this one we can divide by 6 an m, 2 n's and a p. Okay. So moving on, this gets on to what we call quadratics. So this is more to do with the S-band. This is where we have an x squared a single x and a value on its own. Now the quadratic could also just be the first part. It could also just be the first and last part. So I'm looking basically at the fact that I've got this x squared in this format effectively. Okay. Now we have to recognise this. It will be in the test. We have to realise we are looking for two brackets. Now, depending on how you've been taught it, there are two methods. So hopefully you've seen the reverse grid. So we're going to put in the values into the grid. So that would be x squared. Put the 12 on the bottom right. And then the middle section has to add up to make the 7x. So what we're after are two numbers that will multiply together to get the 12. Yeah. But we'll add together to make this pink section in the middle. Okay. So hopefully most of you can see that's 3 times 4 will give me 12. And if we fill in the gap, that will give me 7 in the pink section. So my brackets are the sections around the outside. So x plus 3 and x plus 4. That's the answer. If you want to pause the video and have a go at the next one, you can do. So this one has a negative number in it, so it's the same process as we go through. You can put the x squared in, you can put the minus 36 in, you can put the x in there, and I'm looking for two numbers that will multiply together to get that 36 but add together to get 5x. So go through. So if you're not sure about how to make the 36, the way you can get yourself unstuck is to write down all the factors of 36. So 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9 and 6 and 6. So looking at all those numbers, we want to make 5. So I can use the 4 and the 9 there, that will make me 5. One of them's got to be positive and the other one's got to be negative to make that 5. So let's put the numbers in and see if it works. And I can see that will give me the 5x, it will give me the minus 36, and then the answer then would be the x minus 4 and x positive 9. So again, if you want to pause the video and have a go, or you can just watch the next one, it's the same factors of 36, so we can use the same pink numbers to help us out. So this time we're adding to make positive 9. So looking at the numbers on the left there, I can see that I can make positive 9 using the 3 and the 12. So it has to be positive 12 and negative 3. Check it works. And then your answer is x minus 3 and x positive 12. The last one that we'll go through together is one that has no number in the middle. So I can still set it out exactly the same way. I'm going to have x's there, and I'm still going to have to work out a number that's going to make minus, and it's minus 1. So when there's no number, we're going to have that. So minus 1 is what I'm making in that section. Again, if you're getting stuck, you can write down the factors of 20. So 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. So the way to make minus 1 is going to be using negative 5 and positive 4. So fill it out make sure it works, which it does. So my answer is x plus 4 and x minus 5. So if you want to pause and have a go, you can do it on the other side. And that's your answer. So that we'll have a quick recap. So they are a variety of questions you can practice for the quadratics. So this is the S-band work. You can see on the TIFF question it is still S-band because you can still factorise the bottom half and then factorise the top half and then cancel down your fraction. Okay, so again, have a little go at that. There's the answers for you to check. So you can see at the end there, we factorise the top, factorise the bottom, and we should be able to cancel out something off the top and the bottom to leave us with that smaller fraction. So moving on is the E band. So only really those of you in the top set should be having a go with the higher. So there's a couple of methods that we can use with this. You can try and do it with the grid method if you like, or there's a step-by-step process of the AC method that you should have been taught. So I'll show you both and then you can have a practice. So using the grid method as before, we're going to have the 2x squared and the 2 in the right place. We can put in the x and that x there, and the value there in the centre has got to make 5x. Now the difference is that one of these x's has got to make the 2x, so we need the extra value on that section there. So you can do trial and error to get the process through if you like. So I need two numbers that are going to make 2, which is only 2 and 2 and 1, sorry. So if I put the, let's say I put the 1 there and the 2 there, so that will give me 4x and 1x, which will work. So I can have 2x plus 1 in a bracket and x plus 2 in a bracket. Now the other method, which may seem longer but it is easier once you've got a higher coefficient than a prime number at the front, is that we call the AC method. So we're going to do 3 times 8, which is 24. I want two numbers at times together to give me 24, but add together to give me 14. So those numbers will be 12 and 2. We then rewrite the question, but instead of putting the 14, we're going to put the 12 and the 2 in. Now I know it looks longer, but it does work all the time. And then we're going to factorise the left side into one bracket and then factorise the right side into one bracket. So 3x and x plus 4, and then we're going to take 2 out, and I should have the same bracket. And then the other bracket comes from the numbers outside, and that's your answer. So like I said, it's a bit longer, but as the numbers get higher and it gets more trickier, it's easier and it's a consistent method. So both of those methods are viable. You just need to pick one you're going to like. So if you want to have a go, then please pause the video and have a go. And there's the answers. So hopefully that helps. I know it's a bit of a whirlwind, but if you can make sure you can do the S-band work with the quadratics, then that's a good starting point for any paper that you're going to do. And the higher paper then obviously is the last little section. Hopefully that helps with your revision. If you want to practice more, then the Hegarty videos are 168 and 169 for the one bracket, the 223 all the way up to 229, and 229 is the fractions. Don't worry about the harder end of that quiz, just try and get to halfway and just practice the fractions on that if you want to practice more, but 223 is a good one just for the securing. Okay, hope it all helps.